Okay, today we're going to talk about and work with special right triangles. Special right triangles, and they're special because they have rules that are related to them that allow you to find side lengths using shortcuts. All right. So the first special right triangle that we're going to talk about is a 45, 45, 90 special right triangle. All right. So 45, 45, 90, it's got two 45-degree angles. The acute angles in a 45, 45, 90 are 45 degrees. So look, if this side has a length of L units, and the other side or leg has a length of L units, then the length of the hypotenuse is L times the square root of 2. Let's label this triangle ABC. And let's say that side AC is equal to, obviously it's the same length as the other side. Agreed? 45, 45, 90. It's an isosceles right triangle. The two sides are the same. You're not going to be asked a question. They're not going to give you a side length and then ask you for the other side length in a 45, 45, 90 because they're the same. What they will do, though, is they'll give you the hypotenuse. If you know the length of the hypotenuse, all right, side AC is equal to the hypotenuse divided by square root of 2. Always in a 45, 45, 90. AC or AB, we can say AB or AC is equal to the hypotenuse divided by the square root of 2. Side BC is always equal to AB or AC times the square root of 2. That's the rule with 45, 45, 90s. It's very simple to memorize, and it's really simple to apply when you're given some triangles. So look, if you're given this triangle, and it's got your 90-degree angle, and you see one angle that's 45 degrees, a little light bulb needs to go on that says, the light says, this is a special right triangle. All right, and you're given a leg is 6, and you need to find the hypotenuse. Well, in this case, the hypotenuse, what's it equal? I just told you what it's equal to, right? X is going to be equal to 6 times the square root of 2. So type in your calculator. 6 times 2 square root equals 8.49. That's as simple as it is. If you're given this right triangle, again, one of the acute angles is 45. If one of the acute angles is 45, the other one's 45 as well. And you're given the legs. They're both 9 square root of 2. And you need to find this hypotenuse. Say it's C. C is going to be equal to 9 times the square root of 2. 9 radical 2 times radical 2. All right, so your hypotenuse in this case is going to be equal to 9 times 2 square root equals times 2 square root equals. Hopefully everybody got 18. There's the length of your hypotenuse. Don't have to do the Pythagorean theorem when you're dealing with or working with special right triangles. Let's do this one here. Ooh, that's ugly. We got a 45 x and a 7 radical 2. All right, so our x is going to be equal to 7 radical 2 times square root of 2. And 7 radical 2 times the square root of 2 is 14. All right, it's a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. So the two legs are congruent to each other. So y is also equal to 7 radical 2. Any questions on a 45, 45, 90 right triangle? All right, the second type of triangle that we're going to work with today is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. It's the second special right triangle. 30, 60, 90 right triangle has some special rules as well. So let's look at this thing. All right, let's make this triangle ABC. We're going to make angle A the 30-degree angle, which means angle B has to be the 60-degree angle. Now, the hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse. In a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, we refer to the side across from the 30-degree angle as the short leg. We refer to the side across from the 60-degree angle as the long leg. Now, here's the rules that apply to this special right triangle. The hypotenuse is always equal to the short leg times 2. the long leg is equal to the short leg times square root of 3. The short leg is equal to the long leg divided by square root of 3 and you can also find the short leg by taking the hypotenuse and dividing it by 2. So with those 4 formulas, you can always find all the sides of a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. All right, so let's do some practice with these or with this rule. So here's our triangle. And here's our 30. Here's side X. We're going to call that, here's the hypotenuse. And we've got a 15. All right, so until you get a little better at this, you just may want to put like SL right there, LL right there, and H for hypotenuse. The side opposite the 30, short leg. The other leg is your long leg. All right, so in this case, your X, or your short leg, is equal to 15 divided by square root of 3. So 15 divided by square root of 3, 8.66. If this leg is 8.66, then Y is equal to 8.66 times 2, 17.32. So 17.32. Let's take this triangle. Here's our 60-degree angle. Hypotenuse is 10. The long leg is your Y, short leg is your X. So label them. Here's the short leg, here's the long leg. Short leg equals hypotenuse divided by 2. So X equals 10 divided by 2. It's 5. The long leg, Y, is equal to the short leg, which is 5, times the square root of 3. So you may see it just as 5 radical 3, or the decimal version, 5 times 3 square root equals, and then we're at 8.66 again. Anybody have any questions on working with either of those types of triangles? I would recommend you take some time today before the bell rings. If you take these and you just write them like 10 times each, you probably burn them into your brain for the rest of your life. Okay? It's that simple on these 30, 60, 90s. H equals short leg times 2. Hypotenuse equals short leg times 2. Hypotenuse equals short leg times 2. Say it in your head as you're writing it, but abbreviate it as you're writing it. So in my head, I would say hypotenuse equals short leg times 2. Hypotenuse equals short leg times 2. Hypotenuse equals short leg times 2. It might take you about 4 minutes to do it, but it will be automatic for you for the rest of this year anyway. And anytime that you see a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, you will automatically use those rules. And then I would do the same thing with the 45, 45, 90. You can say that a leg equals the hypotenuse divided by the square root of 2. Leg equals hypotenuse divided by square root of 2. Leg equals hypotenuse divided by radical 2. Leg equals hypotenuse divided by radical 2. Then you could say that the hypotenuse equals a leg times square root of 2. Hypotenuse equals a leg times square root of 2. Hypotenuse equals a leg times square root of 2. And if you invest that time now, by the time your quiz rolls around and next week and the week after that, you're not going to get confused on when to use the square root of 2 or when to use the square root of 3 because you're going to memorize it. All right. Another thing that works is you use radical 2. You use the radical 2 to multiply or divide when you have two angles that have the same degree measure or two sides that have the same length. Use radical 2 when I got two of the same angles. Use the radical 2 when I got two of the same sides. I use radical 3 when I've got a 30, 60, 90. I use radical 3 when I got a 30, 60, 90. People seem to get confused later on in the week as to, they say, I don't know when to use the square root of 2 or the square root of 3. You use the square root of 3 when you got a 30, 60, 90 because the 30 has the 3 in it. And you use the radical 2 when you have two angles that are the same. Got it? Great. You've been a wonderful audience today. Wonderful. Best audience I've had all day. Best geometry audience I've had all day. Your practice for today is going to be on page 562 and 563. 562 and 563. Problems 1 through 25. Now, real important right here. Round all answers to the nearest hundredth. That's 2 decimal places. Round everything 2 decimal places. Set your calculator. You set your calculator. You push second. It's a button. Then you push fix, which is the same button as the period. And then you type or push the number 2. Second fix 2 will round everything 2 decimal places. That's the way the homework questions on Focus are going to be formatted. So if you don't set your calculator the same way that I set mine, and you round incorrectly, you can get questions wrong in your homework. So that is your assignment for today. You in-class people, this has been uploaded to Focus under the Resources tab, or you can go get a book out of the back room. There's a couple books on that front table up there. You can take a picture of the book if needed. Whatever you got to do. E-learners, these pages have been uploaded to the Resources tab, so you guys are excused this time. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to end the Zoom meeting very shortly.